The Magic Show is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, and check this out. Shards of Alara is coming, and this powerful multicolor set harkens back to the days of Ravnica in a whole new way. So get ready for States in November and pre-order Shards of Alara from StarCityGames.com today.
Hi, I'm Charles Gendy, and you're watching The Magic Show.
Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of The Magic Show. This week we're featuring the Magic Show exclusive new Magic Player Rewards card. We're talking about the return of States with the man responsible for doing so. We discuss the recent banned and restricted announcements and go over a raft of spoilers from Shards of Alara. Let's go! Okay everybody, for those who have played in at least 20 tournaments since they last received a shiny textless Wrath of God or Damnation, prepare to feast your eyes on this. The latest Magic Player Rewards textless foil is Cryptic Command. Check out that artwork. My God, so gorgeous. And remember, this is shown non-foiled, so you can properly see it. Just imagine it all shiny and beautiful and destroying your opponent's combat steps. I know that I certainly haven't missed the irony of printing a textless Wrath of God, a textless Damnation, and now the blue Wrath of God Cryptic Command in succession. I, for one, eagerly await the arrival of mine and can't wait to put it in the cube. For more on Magic Player Rewards, visit the Magic Player Rewards section of the MagicTheGathering.com website, found in the Trading Card Game Resources section. Be sure to sign up there so you can get free awesome cards like this mailed to you every so often. I'd like to thank Wizards of the Coast for providing me this exclusive unveiling, and I'll be back next week with an incredible Shard spoiler that I think you're going to really geek out over. So last year was supposed to be the death of States. No more States for you. That time has come and gone. And throughout the Magic community there was much gnashing of teeth and complaints to be heard, myself included. I was extremely upset that one of the most fun and interesting tournaments of the year was being canceled. States was important for community, new deck building ideas, and fostering local competition. And now it was gone. But there was hope. A man named Glenn Goddard came to the rescue of Magic players everywhere. I got a chance to talk to Glenn earlier this week, so let's hear his thoughts on the matter. So from what I understand, you are from Sun Mesa Events, is that right?
That's right.
Could you tell me a little bit sort of about Sun Mesa and how it got started and all that stuff?
Well, Sun Mesa Events is Jody Goddard. Jody and I have been organizing events pretty much since the very beginning of organized play for Wizards of the Coast. And today we run Wizards of the Coast and Upper Deck events in West Texas, New Mexico, Nevada, and now Southern California.
That's great. I emailed Wizards. They sent me over to Laura Kilgore, and she said, while I got it started, the person who really championed it was Glenn Goddard.
I think the bottom line to States was that I personally, like you, love States. There's a lot of people who think States ought to go somewhere, do something, beyond its horizon. Mm-hmm. And for me, I always felt States was like perfect because it was a pool of players. I knew them all. We all respected one another. Mm-hmm. We all enjoyed playing against one another. It was a community in and of itself. Mm-hmm. It was a self-contained community. And that was the thing about States, one of the elements about States that I always loved. It was about playing for pride, not for prizes. Mm-hmm. And so when States was canceled, it was like, big sigh, what the heck's going on there. At the Gamma Trade Show in March, an awful lot of us tournament organizers were all in one place at the one time, and I pretty vividly remember where I made the decision. I was sitting at a conference table just kind of playing with a pen, and I said, States just doesn't seem that hard. I wonder, and I said to myself, well, even if Wizards doesn't want to sponsor it, if most of the people who did it last time want to do it again, why don't we make this happen? Wouldn't it be cool if? And that question, wouldn't it be cool if? At Gamma, we started the process of soliciting organizers for the event. That was, as I said, back in March. This has been a thing that's been in the progress for a very long time. There's something like, with the guys who have multiple territories and stuff like that, there's something like 42 organizers. And to get 42 entrepreneurs who are used to running their own ships to all sign on, I think that speaks to how powerful States is. To get those guys to agree was pretty amazing to me. Matter of fact, one of the folks at Wizards said, I don't even know if we can get that done, but more power to you if you can, So we put a proposal together, presented that at PT Hollywood, and been weighted. At Nationals, we got the word that they were going to approve it. Worked out the date, November the 8th. We were all drooling to hopefully get foil mutavaults if we could, but that was not to be. That didn't work out. I can tell you for sure, you can, as this is the first interview, I'll certainly share with you that the participation card is going to be a black-bordered Doug Schuler art hypnotic specter. We're putting the final touches on the event and taking it from there.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I want to thank you very much for doing this. Well, Glenn, I do appreciate your time, sir, and I'll let you get back to whatever it is you might be doing.
I appreciate your work, and I appreciate the coverage. It's been a heck of a lot of work, but it's been well worth it. And if we can make a whole bunch of Magic players very happy, then it's well worth it.
And I'm absolutely positive that you've done that. Thanks again, Glenn.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Right, bye-bye. Thank you, Wizards of the Coast. Sensei's Divining Top is now banned from all extended tournaments as of September 1st. This is such a huge relief. Now, for those who think otherwise, there were two cruxes to this argument. First of all, Counterbalance Top is ridiculously unfun. Whenever you get free reusable counterspells, the game has turned into something that is the opposite of fun. I don't know if you've ever stared down the inevitability of Countertop with a stack of 1-drops in your hand, but my God, is it awful. And secondly, I'm willing to bet that 99.9% of every single game that went to turn in the last extended PTQ season was due to this stupid artifact. I don't know how maddening it was to you, but end of your turn top, draw, top, fetch, top was uttered about a gazillion times last season. Our own innovator, Patrick Chapin, famously declared that any good deck in Extended began with 4 Sensei's Divining Tops or 4 Golgari Grave Trolls. And while the latter may not be true, I'm convinced that during the last Extended season, most of the winners were taking home the prize thanks to the lack of randomization on the top of their deck. The type of randomization that allows for interesting game states, and also the type of randomization that doesn't make me wait 5 minutes for you to fiddle with your top 3 cards, huff, and finally pass the turn after doing nothing. While it may seem trivial to ban something primarily because it made tournaments last an insane amount of time, I can assure you every PTQer this fall will be silently thanking WotC for this wise decision. But that's not all, of course. Wizards has made the brave and bold move to remove the power level errata from Time Vault. Now, Stephen Maninian can tell you more about this than I can, as he's championed changing his power level errata since its inception. But here's the skinny. You should, according to Richard Garfield, the guy who made Magic, be able to twiddle a Time Vault and take another turn. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, for years, Wizards was convinced that Twiddle should not, in fact, untap Time Vault to allow you to take another turn. This issue is so convoluted and ridiculous that Wizards themselves are going to publish an update bulletin on September 24th, my birthday, coincidentally, explaining the decision. Maybe there'll be a flowchart or something. They also unrestricted 5 cards from the format, which is sure to shake up what vintage players used to call their metagame. Suddenly they have more Moxen to play with in both the Diamond and Chrome forms. The latter Mr. Maninian suggested they not unrestrict. There's Dream Halls and Time Spiral to go nuts with, and Personal Tutor, swept up in the wave of restrict everything that has tutor in the title fracas a few years ago, can now be played as a 4 of, so you can, at sorcery speed, go find another sorcery and put it on top of your deck. Now you're playing with power. Lastly, though it would have been for nothing but posterity's sake, I wish they had banned Bitter Blossom from Lore and Block Constructed. Sure, it doesn't make a difference to anyone now that the PTQs are finished, but this really was a big mistake in power level, and to recognize it will be important for future generations looking back at older blocks. Oh well. Okay, so Shards of Alara is rapidly approaching, and all I can say is the flavor of this set is absolutely out of this world. Firstly, we're back in the realm of humans, which is really exciting after going through 1 full block of toilet paper endowed humans and 4 whole sets of no humans at all. And they gave us a whopper to begin. Check out Sigiled Paladin. Now, firstly, the art on this guy is destined for posters and promotional materials. What a mind-blowing image. I know Magic art has only been getting better since I came back during Mirrodin, but this set is just gorgeous. Anyway, Paladin here is important because Exalted stacks. It's so damn important to understand this, allow me to mock up its actual keyword. That means that turn 2 Sigiled Paladin into turn 3 Sigiled Paladin, swing, gets you a 4/4 first striker in the red zone. Also note that it provides this bonus whether or not the single attacking creature has Exalted or not. This allows the mechanic to affect more than just other Exalted creatures, and that sounds awesome. Personally, I hope there will be a 1 white 1/1 with Exalted to allow you to curve up Exalted creatures into a white weenie powerhouse. What we do know is that there is a 5-drop angel with this ability, and her name is Battle Grace Angel. Now, this sort of Sarah Angel, Exalted Angel hybrid thing is going to be very dependent, I think, on how many creatures have Exalted, the power of white in general in this set, and whether you can actually untap with this angel before she's flame javelin into oblivion. However, the fact that she grants her ability as soon as she hits the board to any creature attacking, whether or not they have Exalted, that is some powerful stuff. I wouldn't count this girl out just yet. Speaking of angels, some players at my local store were geeking out over Stoic Angel. Now, I thought they were excited because this looks like a great multiplayer creature, but they were convinced of its constructed applications. Granted, this angel looks like the #1 thing to slow down a weenie or fairy rush. However, since this color combination no longer has Mystic Snake or Momentary Blink in Standard, we may see Stoic Angel rocking EDH decks, but Pro Tour tables could be a stretch. Next, we see our third Planeswalker. While a Johnny Vengeant was neato, and Tezzeret the Seeker looks mighty scary, I think the bomb diggity is right here in Sarkhan Vol. Damn. That's all I'm going to say about this guy. In a word, he seems ridiculous. I don't know how blatant a Planeswalker can be, but this one is doing everything but jumping from the rooftops about how insane his abilities are. Every one of them wants to do something the red-green aggro deck is geared towards, whether it's the quick beat, stealing your best guys, or providing such an overwhelming advantage that you can't recover. Many players are lamenting that because this Planeswalker, and perhaps Tezzeret, is incredibly strong, that the mythic rarity is broken. I don't think so. It does show that good cards, okay, very good cards, will show up in that rarity, but you can't expect Wizards of the Coast to throw all the goodness in the gold symbol. So, for example, here is what I consider the epitome of a mythic rare. Check out Lich's Mirror. Now that is awesome. I don't care who you are. If you understand how to play Magic, that is simply a fantastically designed card. It's incredibly unique, challenging, and gets the juices flowing. I love how this combos with cards with Suspend, how it doesn't empty mana pools like the worthless World Purge from Shadowmoor, and how every Johnny all across the world began figuring out a way to abuse this thing the second they saw it. The most exciting ideas presented so far include things like suspending a Greater Gargadon and killing yourself just before it unsuspends, and winning the game by losing the game with Hurricane or Earthquake or some other X spell that deals damage to all players. Other players believe that this could be good in control decks anyway, as they run a lot of cheap removal spells like Condemn that would be fantastic to shuffle up and draw into when your opponent ekes out that last point of life. Either way, this is the most mind-blowing card I've seen since Platinum Angel or Mindslaver, and it is wonderfully innovative. Lastly, I want to cover the resurgence of Zoo and Extended. Yes, Shards isn't completely spoiled, so I'm sure there will be more weapons to add, but Wild Nacatl is certainly not a bad place to start. With your myriad of fetch lands and first turn Stomping Ground and a second turn Temple Garden, you're looking at the best rogue elephant ever printed ever. That's 2 evers for the price of 1, folks. Look at its turn 3 cohort, Woolly Thoktar. 3 mana, 5/4. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Doran. Who cares for a 3 mana 5/5 that makes all my combat math weird when I can just play 3 mana for a 5/4 and not worry about it? Can you imagine turn 1 Wild Nacatl or Curdape, turn 2 Watchwolf, turn 3 Thoktar? That's some good beats right there. Lions, tigers, and bears. I just wet myself on my chairs. Or something. So that's it for this week, folks. Next week we'll be back with another raft of spoilers, including an exclusive Magic Show spoiler that you have to see to believe. Until next time, Magic players, this is Evan Irwin, tapping the cards so you don't have to. Feeling so excited, it's the best thing that I've ever found. Feeling suicidal, there's not a chance I'll be coming around.
Like the fatties.